Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Christmas tumbler. It's like a candy cane swirl wrap with some vinyl and some glitter. So I'm starting with some vinyl from Diamonds and Dust Etsy shop. And I just flipped it over and I'm just taking my ruler and I'm not measuring because I kind of wanted my lines to not be even. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I wanted a more whimsical, uneven look. So I'm just taking this marker on the back of my vinyl, using my ruler to help me draw a semi-straight line, and then I'm just going to go through with my vinyl cutter and my scissors and trim along those lines. I also didn't have any rhyme or reason for the angles that I started for these lines. I just knew that I wanted it to swirl around my cup a lot, so I just kind of went starting at the corner of the vinyl, using that as like my starting point. And then I just went, pretty steep starting there from the side. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but you can see what I did. And then I just took my vinyl and lined it up with my lines that I drew for myself there. And then once I got to the point where I couldn't fit it in my vinyl trimmer, I cut what I could, and then I finished the rest with my scissors. Alright guys, before I go any further, do not judge this terrible paint job. I know this is bad. I didn't really have a vision on what I was doing with it. I was just kind of spraying it randomly, kind of in a swirl pattern, kind of just whatever, and I got runs pretty bad. But it really didn't matter because I knew that it was going to be covered up anyway, so don't judge me on that. But anyway, so now we got all of our vinyl cut, and I'm going to take some painter's tape and just kind of map out where I'm going to put the vinyl before I actually start applying it. I just want to make sure that I get the swirls enough around the cup to where they wrap around so I can see the front and the back of the vinyl when I'm looking at one side of the cup, if that makes sense, or almost the whole piece at once. Anyway, you know what I mean. So I'm just kind of taping it, and how you lay your vinyl is how it's going to swirl. So if you lay it more at an angle, it's going to swirl more. If you do it less, it's going to swirl less. So I'm not measuring out my spacing for this either. Like I said, I just wanted an uneven look. That's what I envisioned, and that's what I was going for. So I'm just taking my pieces, like I said, wrapping them around, and just mapping out what I want to do before I actually lay it down. And I'm sorry I'm off frame for a lot of this. It was really hard to keep my cup laying flat on my table or my little cup turner there while I was doing this part, so I apologize. And I think I forgot to mention the spray paint that I used. I'm also using a 20-ounce skinny from the Stainless Steel Depot, and the spray paint is Rustoleum Metallic Gold and Colorshot. I believe it's Scuba, but I will have all this listed in the description box for you guys as well. Once we've mapped out and anchored down all of our vinyl pieces and we have them at the spot that we like them, now we can remove our little pieces of painter's tape, which were our anchors, and then we're going to peel up just the top of the vinyl there to expose that white paper backing. We're going to take our scissors, trim that off, and then we're going to anchor down the top of our vinyl. And then once that's anchored to the top, we're going to take our vinyl squeegee tool. We're going to remove the rest of the tape that's holding the vinyl to the cup, and then we're going to slowly roll that onto the cup. Take your time with this, make sure you don't get any bubbles, make sure you have a really good anchor at the top. You are going to have vinyl at the top overhanging, and that's no big deal. We can trim that off later with our craft knife, and you're probably also going to have some overhanging at the bottom as well, like I do, and once again, we can trim that off later. Once we have all of our vinyl trimmed off, now we're going to move into taping off our vinyl sections using our painter's tape. Guys, I'm going to be real with you again. I forgot to record myself applying my epoxy, but I'm using the epoxy method, so I'm using less than 1 milliliter of epoxy for this whole tumbler. By the way, if I had to redo this tumbler, I was already taping off my vinyl anyway for this step, so I would have spray painted after I taped off my vinyl, but whatever, it was already done. So now I'm going in with Juliette and Jade from PDB Creative Studio. I have a discount code for them in my description box as well. And another thing I would have did differently if I remade this tumbler. I love how it came out, but there was just a few things that I was like, wish I wouldn't have did that, but it still looked great. But one of those was I had 3 swirls. So if I had 4, it would have made more sense. But for some reason, I did blue at the top, gold at the top, and then blue at the top again. So then I had 1 swirl that was opposite from the other 2 since I only had 3 lines instead of 4, but it's okay. I still think it came out really cute. But anyway, so I'm taking Juliette, which is this beautiful gold color. I've already put some Jade at the other end at the top, and then I'm just blending that into Jade. So you want to tap very lightly, holding your cup at a very steep angle, probably, I don't know, I'm really bad at this, probably like 50, 60 degrees, I don't know. And then you're just going to let those colors fall into each other, and then you're going to go back and forth until you get the blend established that you like. So I didn't show up, I did go back and forth a couple more times and blended my colors a little bit more. And then after I was satisfied with my ombre, now you pull up your painter's tape right after you're done glittering. After my glitter layer was cured, I sprayed it with Rustoleum 2 times clear gloss spray paint, and then I gave it 2 coats of Flynn Sisters Supply Shop Fast Set, and now we're ready for our pinstripes. So for this vinyl, I'm using Ramses from the Vinyl People. It's a textured metallic gold, and I cut my original stripes at, I believe, 0.10, and then instead of wasting a bunch of vinyl, I'm just going to use the insides of the other stripes that I've already used. And then I'm going to just place that on the vinyl that we already have laid down. Just follow that same curve. Press down your vinyl really well so you don't have any lifting for your next coats of epoxy. And then you can trim off the edges with your craft knife. after we have all of our striping down, now it's time for our Merry and Bright decal. I got this image off of Cricut Design Space. It did come with 2 little Christmas balls on each side of it that I didn't want for this design, so I did just cut those out before I applied it. I cut it at 3.5 by 3.5, and this offset is 0.02, and I cut this blue out of just regular Cricut metallic vinyl. So I'm pressing that on really well, and then I'm going to go over top with my gold, which is still the Ramses from the Vinyl People. And when I lay offsets, if I can cut my words out or my image out in smaller pieces just to help me line it up more perfectly, I do like to do that. So you will see me cut each word out just because it's easier to line up than trying to do the whole image and then having to recut your vinyl. And so now my phone died before you guys could see me apply the final decal, but hopefully you get the point from the rest of it. This was a struggle, guys, so I apologize. But after I was staring at the cup a little bit longer, I was like, I think I need some more striping. So I cut out some stripes with the same blue vinyl that I used for the offset. I believe they were 0.07. And then I just laid them right beside the gold in the glittered section, and I just wrapped those around the cup like I did the other ones. Since I decided to lay my blue striping after I already had my decal down, I like to make things more difficult for myself. I had to go in and cut the little pieces in between each of the letters so my blue vinyl wasn't overlapping any of my decal. After I was all done with my vinyl work, I added 2 coats of epoxy, and then I was all finished. I hope you guys love this, and just check out that shine. It's all from Flynn Sisters Supply Shop Artist Cure Epoxy. It is just absolutely amazing. I'll have a discount code for that along with all the other products that I used in my description box below. Let me know what you guys thought. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.